Hello, welcome to today's video. This is going to be a book unhaul. I didn't expect to have one this quickly, but my reading has just been weird the last couple of months, and I've realised I had a lot of books on my shelves that, you know, these are my TBR shelves that I didn't want to read. So why am I keeping them? So that's what the majority of this book unhaul is, to be honest. But there are like the odd ones I've DNF'd and the odd ones that like I've read fully but decided to get rid of because I don't want it anymore. So let's just get into it. I've got 3 massive piles. I don't know how many there are. I think what I'm probably going to do is, as I'm going through them, decide if I'm going to sell them, donate them, free little library them, or if they're going to like friends and family sort of thing. So yeah, let's get into it. First up, we have this trilogy. This is the Half Bad trilogy, so I'm getting rid of Half Bad, Half Lost and Half Wild. Honestly, I just don't think I'm going to enjoy this. I think unfortunately it's one that if I'd have read 10 years ago I would have loved, but I think I've just waited too long. So yeah, and I'm also seeing on the back that I think there might be another one that I don't own, so maybe it's got another one, but I don't know. Either way, this is going. This is one that I'm annoyed about, so I do know that my library does have this. So if I ever change my mind, if I ever did want to give it a go, I can go to my library, but I just don't want this. And honestly, they're not in the best conditions. These are going to be either donated or free little library. I can decide when we know what we're doing. Then I'm also getting rid of Cloud Atlas. I just don't think I'm going to enjoy this. I brought the book because I enjoyed the film, but I don't think I've seen the film in 15 years, maybe more. So it's gonna go. Then one I'm a bit upset about, but yeah, I'd rather get rid of it than not enjoy it, is the Atlas 6. I have only heard bad things about this lately, and I decided to read it. Well, when I decided to read it, I decided to read a few pages, and I did not enjoy it, and I didn't like how it was set up either. I don't think I would enjoy it. I don't think it's one for me, so again, I'm going to get rid of it. Like, this is a bigger series now and I've got no interest in reading it, so it's going. Same note is Gilded. This is one that I've actually had the audiobook for from the library about 4 times now, and every time I start it and within the first chapter or 2 I'm like, I actually really don't want to read this. So I feel like, you know, enough has been said. But this is basically new because I don't think I've even opened this, so this is one that I will be selling. Then we have this one. Doesn't even have a dust jacket, but this is The Historian. I don't really like historical fiction books, to be honest, and the fact that this one is a hardback, which I don't enjoy reading as much as paperbacks anyway, and it's not even like got a dust jacket or anything, I'm just never going to get around to it. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 historical fiction books on my TBR that I am hopeful I will get to at some point and enjoy. I don't need one that I don't think I'm going to get to. Same sort of line is Euphoria. I picked it up because it's by Lily King, and around the time that I purchased this was when Lily King's other book that's come out since this was like going around. I think it's called like Writers in Love, something like that. And I was like in the charity shop and I spotted this and I was like, oh, like maybe I could enjoy that. Like, you know, a lot of people are talking about this author, but honestly I should have just read the synopsis and thought about it a bit more because it's historical fiction and I don't care. This is, however, pretty much new, so I'll probably sell this one. This one I don't know what to do, unfortunately. I purchased this before finishing reading A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher, which is a book that I didn't really end up liking. I would like to try T. Kingfisher's horror, but I don't think I'm interested in any fantasy, and I did think maybe I'd give this one a go as I already owned it, and I started trying to have a read of a few pages and the pages were literally falling out. So I think this might be one that I have to recycle, but also like someone who knows like book binding better might be able to fix this. And also it's the pages before you get to chapter 1 that have fallen out, like the chapter pages, like the table of contents, that's the main section. So maybe I'll pop it in a free little library. I don't know. I don't like recycling books, like where you literally have to like tear them apart. I don't think it's very nice, so I think maybe free little library this one. Then this is one that I have read. This is the 100, and I read book 1. Might have been last year, might have been the year before, and to be honest I just didn't love it. I had fun with it. I thought it was a fun time, and if I'd have read it at the same time as the TV series was coming out when I was an actual teenager, I think I'd have loved it even more and I would have continued on. But I'm just not interested anymore. I probably should have picked up the next book in the series sooner, but I haven't, and the thought of trying to pick up the next book now, I really can't remember the differences between this and the TV show, but I know that there are a lot. I know there's a lot of character differences, I know there's a lot of additional characters, so for that reason I'm also getting rid of the rest of the series. This is the entirety of the series, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's only 4 books, so I'm going to get rid of these, and I think this will be a good free little library one, because if I was a teenager and I saw this, I'd be excited, so yeah, hopefully. Then we have The Host. I brought this because I enjoyed Twilight when I was younger. I still have the Twilight books on my TBR to reread as an adult to see if I do still enjoy them, but I'm not interested in keeping a book that I thought I'd like when I was younger because I like Twilight but never actually read. Like, I don't think reading this now, because there is no like reminiscing, there is no like nice addition to it of like being a child and reading it. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, so it's gonna go. I'm also getting rid of In the Market for Murder. This is the second book in the Lady Hardcastle mystery series, and basically I saw this in a charity shop and picked it up because I was like, oh, you don't normally see these books out. I've tried reading book 1 since on Everand, where all of the audiobooks for this series are available. I just don't care. Like, maybe at a different point in my life I will read them, but if so, I'll probably read them via audiobook, so I don't need to keep book 2 for if or when that happens. This is a weird one that I'm getting rid of. This is actually Killing Commendator by Murakami, and I do still own 1 book by this author, but this is a massive one. I haven't heard good things, and I think it must be one that I got from a charity shop because it's weirdly sticky. My charity shop to home like process is great. We put it in the bag, we get home, we anti-back everything, then we wrap it in freezer paper, we put it in the freezer, that'll kill anything if there is anything on it, then we bring it upstairs, then it goes on the shelves. I don't know why that's sticky. I'm getting rid of it. I'm not going to read it. Then we have the Satsuma Complex. I don't care about reading this. I brought it because it's Bob Mortimer, who I've watched on Taskmaster and enjoyed, and because I've enjoyed Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club, I thought, hey, let's give another comedian's book a go. But honestly, this has just got a very different tone. I read a couple of pages, like literally 2 pages. Not enough for me to actually be like, this is great, this is bad, this is whatever, but enough for me to be like, I enjoy Taskmaster but pretty much no other comedy, because I don't enjoy comedy. Like, it doesn't do anything for me, I don't find it funny, and I think that this is potentially a bit more comedic for what I want. I'm also getting rid of this one. This is Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake. I just don't think I'm going to enjoy it. I don't know why I got it, honestly. I don't. I think it's probably around the same time as I picked up the Atlas 6, and it was exciting that there was a special edition of this somewhere. I think I did buy this from Waterstones, but I think it might have been on like one of their sale days. I have no interest. I think I did buy this when I was with my boyfriend, so this is going in the pile to see if my boyfriend wants it first, which if so, it does still stay in the house, but it's not on my physical TBR, which is these shelves. But I am going to put this in a separate pile just to check whether he wants to read it or not. Then I'm getting rid of The Binding. I am also getting rid of The Betrayals. This is the same author, and basically I read The Betrayal last year, I want to say, and it was dreadful. I didn't enjoy it. I can understand why some people might enjoy it, but it wasn't the sort of book for me. It didn't do a lot. The magic was basically unseen. It's just, yeah, not my sort of magic book. Like, you didn't actually see any of the magic, you didn't understand the magic. It was not written how I liked it, but I thought I'd still give The Binding a go. But because I didn't enjoy the other one, I don't want to read this, basically. I have tried the audiobook. When I was consistently going to the gym a few months back, I was very quickly just getting there, picking an audiobook and listening. And this is one that I picked twice and still have not listened to, which tells me I'm not going to. So yeah, unfortunately, because it is stunning, and it's stunning on the inside pages and it's stunning on these pages. I think these are both the same, so I'll probably sell them for like cheap on Vinted, because I do think that they are absolutely stunning editions, so I'll probably sell these too, but unfortunately just not books for me. I think if I was more interested in like the academia side rather than the magic and fantasy side, then maybe, but I'm just not. I want the fantasy, I want the magic, I want to understand the magic system, I want to know about it, I want to know why it works, I want to actually see it in use and see the magic. So yeah. Okay, let's do some of the bigger series next. I am getting rid of the entire saga of Darren Shan. I've got these in the bind up editions, which is Vampire War, Vampire Destiny, Vampire Rights and Vampire Blood. But this is the series that starts with Cirque de Freak, and then the Vampire's Assistant, and then Tunnels of Blood, and those are like the 3 in the one bind up. There's 12 books, 3 in each of these bind ups. I reread the Demon Arta series a couple of years ago now, and I enjoyed it because it was a reread and it was nostalgic, and I liked that. But I didn't really enjoy the writing, I didn't really enjoy the horror aspect. So I think unfortunately this is one that I've just missed about on. If I'd have read it when I was a teenager, I would have really enjoyed it. But unfortunately I just don't think the horror I like now, I want to actually scare me, and I don't think this will. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Then I'm getting rid of all of these. These are some of the Shadowhunter books. So we've got Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, the Shadowhunters Codex, Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, Queen of Air and Darkness, and Ghosts of the Shadow Market. And I'm getting rid of all 6 of these. Basically, I really enjoyed the Mortal Instruments, and I thought that the, what are they called, the Clockwork books, ones that's like Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Princess, those ones, I thought they were really good and I enjoyed them, and I read them when I was younger, and I reread them as an adult and I still thought they were fun. So slowly I've been, when I go to charity shops, when I do free little library stuff, if I ever see a Shadowhunter book, I've been collecting it, because I was like, well, at some point I'll finish this world. I don't care about that anymore. I don't care about the world. I will keep the books that I read when I was younger and reread as an adult and enjoyed and loved, and like do mean a lot to me, because especially the Mortal Instrument books are what really got me into reading and reading fantasy and enjoying that type of book and searching for more of it. But I don't have any interest in reading any more of them, so I'm going to get rid of this big stack. No point keeping books that I'm not going to enjoy. Then I'm also getting rid of the Fallen series. When I was younger, I read Fallen and never continued on with the series. I tried reading Fallen again very recently and couldn't. There was a lot of things. I don't think it's aged very well. I don't think it really stands up. So I'm getting rid of the whole series, which is annoying because this is a series that I probably purchased when I was like 13, 14 and went out my way to hunt like cheap copies online that was in good condition. So it's a bit of one of those where it's like, it's good but it's a shame. Like, I wish it did stand up. I wish I was super excited about this, because, you know, like I was at one point in my life, but not anymore. So we're getting rid of the whole series of this. And then that only actually leaves us with one more little stack, so let's go through these. I'm getting rid of the XX. I know this is loved, I know there's people like it, and I like cozy fantasy and I like fantasy with romance aspects. I wish I'd have read the description a bit better, because this is a second chance romance, which is a trope that I just absolutely hate. I have no interest in reading about second chance romance. Like, I can't, no matter what situation it's in, whether it's a contemporary setting or a fantasy setting. It's so unbelievable to me and just so like, why? But I'm not interested. Then there is The Lock-In. This is actually the book that I got at the same time as the Bob Mortimer one in a charity shop. I had very little internet. I think at the time I thought it sounded interesting. Now I don't know what mood I was in that day, because it sounds like the most irritating synopsis ever. But I have no interest in this. When I did get home and did have internet connection, this is like the lowest rated book I think I've ever added to my Goodreads, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't care. I don't read much contemporary. I have an entire shelf of like contemporary stuff that I get through 2 or 3 a year. I don't need to keep what I'm no longer interested in. I'm also going to get rid of Sherpa. I wish I wanted to read more of this, but it was just very dull writing, honestly. Like, I never read much of it. I started this for a reading vlog that I did ages and ages ago. It was like reading all the books in season 1 of Ginny and Georgia, and this was one of them. And I started it in that video and I said like I'll finish it at some point, but it's just so dense, and like I'm interested in reading something about the subject because I do think it's interesting, but I don't like how this book is written. So I know myself and I know I'm never going to finish it. For the same reason I'm getting rid of the Out There Screaming, this is one that's a bit annoying to be getting rid of, to be honest. I have only read part of the first story, and I know that maybe I should give it another go, but I know myself that I don't enjoy short stories now. Like, I know that. That's something I've learned about myself. I will not buy any more short story collections. Yeah, I brought this to read in, I think it was February it was meant to be read for. It's for a book club. I never read it. I've tried multiple times. I've really tried to get into it, and I'm not enjoying it, so it's gotta go. I'm also getting rid of the Bone Season. This is one that I do still want to read. However, I found this in, like, if you're in the UK, I don't know if it's elsewhere in the world, but when you're in the supermarket, after you go to the checkouts, there's quite often a bookshelf or two of books, and it's like, you know, pick up a book and donate £1 to a charity. And I always check them because I like reading and I like a bargain. And I found this and I was super excited because I've always heard of the Bone Season. I've always thought it was like a book that I'd be interested in, a series I'd be interested in. So I did it. I put my £1 in the pot and I picked it up, and I got home and I added it to Goodreads, and I'm like, oh, I think I know why I've been seeing so many of these around. Because the 10th anniversary editions of this series have been completely rewritten. There's been a lot added to them and a lot more, and as I've never read the series before and the series is still going to be continued with this new content in mind, I want to get the new edition, the edition that's like complete and has all the stuff that the author wants in it now. So yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to just like have this and read it, but the moment I realised there was like newer editions with like actual new content in, I was like, oh, like that's kind of what I want to do more. Then unfortunately I ended up DNFing Binti the Night Masquerade and just didn't really enjoy it, and I've decided to get rid of book 2 as well, which is Binti Home. I did read and finish this one last year, but thought it was disappointing after book 1. I have kept book 1. I love the first Binti book and I think it could very easily be considered a standalone. I was excited to continue the series, but I haven't enjoyed the additions to it. So I'm going to be getting rid of books 2 and 3 in that series. 2 middle grades that I'm getting rid of that I'm sure at some point I would have loved, but I just don't read much middle grade anymore, and especially like contemporary middle grade I'm just not interested in. I still enjoy fantasy middle grade and I still think they can be really fun, but I read very little contemporary as it is anyway. So to read a genre I don't read much of and an age category I don't read much of, it just rarely happens. So I'm getting rid of No Fixed Address and OCD Daniel. I'll put these in a free little library, and I'm sure there will be like an actual child the age that is like, you know, these are intended for, who will find them and hopefully read and enjoy them. Okay, and then only 2 more left. This is Healing is the New High. I just don't really read like self-helpy books anymore. I've read a couple, but I just don't really read them. They don't do much for me personally. I know a lot of people like them, I know a lot of people don't. I think it's just very personal as to what works for you and what works for yourself. I am at a point in my life that I know what works for me. I know when I need something, like when I need to think, like I know how to do that. So I just don't feel the need for this. However, my boyfriend does still really enjoy the self-help book, so I will put this in the pile for him to look at to see if he wants to keep it. And the other one is a bit of an odd one, but this is Gangster Wives. Very, very long time ago, I brought, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 bin bags of books on Facebook Marketplace for £5. And I went through them, I donated a lot of the books, I sold a couple of the books, and I kept some of the books. And this is one that I kept because I knew I wanted to get into romance, and I didn't know what sort of romance I liked because at that point I'd read none, or at least none that I liked. So I kept this, having now dipped my toe into romance and feeling like I know kind of what I enjoy. I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. I think this is just going to be a lot. So hopefully there will be someone out there who does want this and enjoy this, and I'll probably just donate it, and hopefully someone who will like get what they want out of romance out of this. So yeah, that is the last one. Right, I'm actually going to count these up now because I didn't keep a count whilst I was talking about them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 47 books. Okay, we're getting rid of 47. Can I find 3 more? Oh no, I don't think I can. I think this is a lot for now. I am tempted to try and look through my shelves and find 3 more to like make it up to 50. But I'd be worried that it'd be choices that I'd regret, whereas none of these I'm going to regret getting rid of. So yeah, there are 2, in the pile for my boyfriend to look at and see what he wants to do with those. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the pile that I'm going to sell. These are in amazing condition. Actually, there's 8 in that pile. These are really difficult to get a hold of in the UK at least, so I'm going to pop these on Vinted as well, just for super cheap, and hopefully someone who's been looking for them can find them and enjoy them, because I know it took me ages to find these and like get them on like the usual websites that I use. So there's 8 books going on Vinted, and 8 add 2 is 10, and there's 47, so there's 37 that I'm either donating or taking to Free Little Libraries. And I'll probably just plan a route, like, you know, a few hours, how many Free Little Libraries can we go to, and take 2 or 3 books per library. So I will take those to the libraries and donate the rest. So yeah, that is everything. That's everything. I do hope that you enjoyed the book Unhaul. Obviously, if there's any of these books that you have loved, that's amazing. That is absolutely great. I am getting rid of these books because they're not for me right now, and hopefully from the way that I've spoken about them, I have made that clear that like everyone can enjoy whatever they want to enjoy. And like some of these books 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I'd have been so excited about, but reading tastes change, and a new priority for me this year, something I'm really focusing on, is keeping my TBR shelves down. I actually want considerably less than this. Like, I'm really working on reducing my physical TBR and the books that I own, because of how quickly I am noticing my reading taste change. So I don't want as many to choose from. Obviously, hopefully, most of these books behind me I will try to read, I will read them and I will love them, and that will be what gets them off the TBR shelves. But unfortunately, the ones that I've been speaking about today are ones that I just no longer want to read. So yeah, I do really hope you enjoyed the video. Please do give it a like if you liked it, subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.